Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome to the very first episode of Listen Up. My name is Brandon, and this is a very exciting show, right? Because this show is one that we came up because we felt there was a lot of need for this show. Simply because, let's get real, it's a show about stories, about journeys of faith, and we were thinking like how we can make the show more relevant to more people, and not just to Christians but to non-Christians. Like, hence, it's called Listen Up, because it's more like verbish, like let's get real. So that's why we wanted Listen Up. Anyway, that's the intro of the show, just a little bit to let you guys know what Listen Up is all about. And we want to say thank you so much for really supporting the show and for throwing so much love, encouragement, and prayer to journey with us. Now, for the first episode of Listen Up, we figured out that, hey, you know what? It's lockdown right now, and we were thinking, okay, what better way to start the show than with in the lockdown, right? Not just by myself, but with my beautiful and dear wife. Please welcome Miss Phoebe Heng Yi Jin.
Hello. Hi, guys. Hope you guys are well, and thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I'm very honored and pleased to have you. A little bit scared because Kang Lo Po, or rather be scared of a wife, is a good thing, right? Hashtag happy wife, happy life. Amen?
That's true. Amen. So amen.
All right. Anyway, welcome Phoebe. Phoebe is my wife. And today's topic that we've chosen is a very interesting one. Interesting because why? It's super relevant. It's one that I was very interested in as a young man, as a high schooler as well. And it's often talked about. And today's topic is going to be about BGR, which stands for...
Boy-girl relationship.
That's right.
It's a popular topic.
It's a very popular topic, one that deserves for people to go, aww. So this BGR topic is it's a massive topic, right? And we're just putting a disclaimer out there now. Phoebe and I, we're not
not the master.
Yeah, we're not like the authoritative voice when it comes to BGR, right? We've only been married about 7 months now, and we've dated prior to getting married for 6 years, right? 6 years we were dating, and we got married. And it's been less than a year, but the journey has been very sweet, one that is filled with up and downs. And we're going to talk a little bit about our story. And this episode is actually going to be a 2-part series. So the first part of this episode will be us talking about our story, our journey, how we first met up until the point where we got married.
Yes.
And then finally, the things that we've learned along the way, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And the second part of this episode will be more of a... answering some very important questions we feel are very close to our hearts, and one that we often get a lot, especially from younger Christian couples. So now that we're married, we have a little bit more merit to talk about BGR. But again, we're not the authoritative voice.
We're definitely not the master in love or relationship.
Guru, we're not like
we're just sharing with you our story and advices that we learn along the way.
Exactly. So without much further ado, let's get started on Listen Up with our first topic of the entire show, the first episode, a 2-part series on boy-girl relationship. So as we mentioned, we're coming from a perspective of a newly married couple. We got married last year in... I got this, you don't have to look at me. I still remember.
It's just been 7 months. 7 months, come on.
Of course I remember. We're on the 12th of December 2020. So I'm going to let Phoebe share with you guys how we first met. We get asked this question.
It's kind of dangerous to ask this question.
Why?
Because always like 2 different story.
No, exactly. Exactly what I was about to say.
2 different versions when it comes to this kind of thing.
Right. So I wanted to hear your version. Or should I share my version first and then you share your version?
No, I should share my version first.
Okay. Go ahead.
So how did we meet, is it?
Yeah, how did we meet?
Oh, okay. We met definitely through my sister, my younger sister Eunice. So what happened was she went to Bible Knowledge Conference, right? When she was in high school. I think she was 14 years old.
14.
Yeah, I think she was 14. So she met Brandon in that conference, and at that time Brandon was already 17, right? Because we are like 3 years apart. So she met Brandon in that conference, and she really kind of admire him because obviously he is very charismatic. You know, he has really good personality and he was very friendly. So they
Why do you
kinda
sound like you're like blah, blah, blah. So those are very good qualities. You're like he's very charismatic. He's very blah, blah.
I didn't say it that way. Okay, you are listening it the wrong way. Okay, I believe everyone knows what I'm saying about. Okay,
it's your version, so I won't interrupt.
Yeah, please be.
Okay.
Okay, so basically, see, where was I?
No, so we through your sister we met. So I had this personality. So she kind of admired what.
So she felt like he was a really great guy, right? And he was obviously very friendly. So they clicked right away because my sister is like a social butterfly. Really, everywhere she goes, she can just click with anyone at any age, really. So,
shout out to Eunice.
Yeah, no longer single.
No longer. By the way.
So so basically she came back from the conference and she was like, oh my gosh, Phoebe, you know, you have to meet this guy is great, and then he's the same age as you, you know, you have to meet this guy. So I only heard about his name, Brandon Ho, and we kind of I saw his Facebook profile obviously because my sister was showing me, and I kind of added him on Facebook. But that was it. Okay, that was it. I was like, oh, okay, just another friend from another school, just another guy friend, you know. So, and then we obviously didn't talk obviously because we don't know each other, right? So, and then he went to Taylor's University, right?
Yes.
For uni, and I went to Taylor's College, and at that time it was a different place. I was at SS15 and he was at Lakeside. He was already at Lakeside. So I finished my college, and after that I went on to Taylor's Lakeside for my degree course. And when my sister knew that I was going to Taylor's, and she knew that Brandon was already in Taylor's because they have been keeping in touch. They've been talking on Facebook, just on and off, you know, just keeping in contact.
And
B, can you stop smirking at the side there?
I'm not smirking. I'm smiling.
Okay. B, you come in front a bit because I cannot see you.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
You want to see me?
Yeah, because I need to.
Oh, okay. Understand.
Monitor a bit.
Can. I continue.
Your reaction, you know.
Continue smiling.
So, so I went on to Taylor's Lakeside, and my sister was like, you know, telling Brandon, hey, Brandon, you have to meet my sister. My sister is going to Taylor's Lakeside. You know, you should bring her around, you know, because she's going to be new. So that was like the beginning of the story, right? So my sister came over to Taylor's Lakeside because she was back in high school. So she wanted to, you know, visit a uni, you know. So it was like, wow, it's very cool.
I remember it was
you know?
this like college life in one day. There's this program thing for high schoolers to experience college life.
No, she wasn't.
Wasn't that?
It wasn't because of that. She came to visit me.
Right.
And she was like, oh, I want to, you know, check out my sister's uni. And at that time, I was 19, right, when I joined Taylor's Lakeside. And Eunice was 16, you know, because it was, 3 years apart. So she wanted to come, and I was like, okay, sure, you know, you can come and look at, you know, my uni. And what happened was we bumped into Brandon, you know, but Brandon was
okay.
So wait, it's my version. Remember that? You say you're gonna not interrupt, okay?
Okay.
Don't interrupt first, okay? So anyway, we met in Taylor's Lakeside, and what happened was, the situation was he was on the second level. I was on the first level, and Uni saw Brandon, and she was like, Brandon, you know? And then Brandon was listening to earphones, and weird enough, he was wearing sunglasses indoors. And I was like, who is this guy wearing sunglasses indoors?
Excuse me.
He is, you know?
POI. Point of interruption.
So, no. Wait. So that was my side of the story. I was like, who is this, you know it all, trying to be cool kind of guy wearing sunglasses indoor? Okay, I will say hi, you know.
How do I mute the mic on
Eunice
this
was
thing?
like, hi Brandon, and Brandon was like, who is this girl? Then he was like, oh, it's Eunice, you know, hi Eunice. So and you know, Eunice was like, oh, this is my sister, you know, my sister, remember I told you my sister is joining Taylor's Lakeside? And And Brandon was like, yeah, oh, hi. Oh, but by the way, I need to, rush off because I have a meeting. So that was like a brief introduction to Brandon, and I think Brandon to me as well. But it was kind of weird because it was at that time when my sister came to visit me in the uni, and that's when we met, bump into Brandon. Because for the rest of for the other days, I never bump into Brandon ever.
I mean, to be fair, the uni was massive, right?
Yeah, correct.
Different
so
courses.
he was coming out from the library, and I was paying, I remember, for my parking ticket at the autopay machine, and that's when we met. And he was second floor, I was on the first floor, and that's how we I see him from afar, but he was wearing sunglasses. So that was my first impression, like, oh, this guy is okay, trying to be cool. All right. Okay,
I'm here to monitor your reaction as well. You literally, okay.
Yeah.
Me?
So I don't want to use the word, okay?
What?
The Cantonese word, because maybe not appropriate.
Wait, whisper it to me. I can't hear anything, but yeah, if you feel like it shouldn't be saying it,
okay, fine.
then
I
you
won't
shouldn't
say it.
say
I
it.
won't say it. Yeah, it's just very like trying to be yang lah. Okay.
Okay.
So that was my first impression of Brandon.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, Mike, why don't you share your first impression of me?
Yeah. So
first,
I mean, I have
before I continue the story.
Sure. I have no contention with what Phoebe just said. She said it pretty accurately, very factually and truthfully as well. But just the POI part where I was wearing shades indoors. All right. Now here's the thing about me that a lot of people don't know, and I'm continuously looking at Phoebe while I say this, and I'm gonna look at you continually as I say this as well. But it's basically my eyes are very sensitive to light. So I usually don't like the bright light. I don't like streaming lights and very bright shining lights. So I usually wear shades.
Wait.
The
You
moment
were
I go
wearing aviators.
Yeah. I'm surprised you remember. Yeah. So I was wearing aviators, and it was not indoors. It was actually outdoors. It was out of the library, so it's considered outdoors. So I was actually wearing my
shaded.
shades out. Yeah, but then again, it was outdoors, right? So I was wearing it the moment I came out of the library because it's very, very bright and sunny. And the second point of contention here was that I have short-sightedness, right? So the first time when I met, when Eunice called my name out and I was looking down, the truth is actually I cannot see. So I couldn't, I knew that was Eunice, but Phoebe, I couldn't really actually see how she looked like. I just remember her have. The time your hair was dyed. I think you were having this red
long hair.
I mean, you may not had long hair, but you had this red hair. Was it a red hairdo or something like that? I think you did. I think you dyed your hair or something like that.
I can't remember.
Yeah, but the point is I really couldn't see very clearly, and I have short-sightedness, and so whatever. But other than that, whatever Phoebe said was actually quite factually true.
Yeah, but what was your first impression of me?
So I think I met you. When did I meet you properly for the first time?
I think it was at a concert.
At a concert?
Yeah, it was in Taylor's Lakeside.
It was one of those orientation leaders thing, right? When I was doing this orientation leaders thing, if I'm not mistaken, that's when I met you properly for the first time. And yeah, okay. So anyway, my first impression as to what I remember meeting Phoebe is that she was very high class. She was this very atas girl. She was this very high atas girl, and I'm very how to explain my fashion a lack of fashion.
There's just no sense.
Anyway, because I go to uni, I wear like
it's called
basketball.
chuggy.
Chuggy?
The Gen Z slang.
The millennials and the Gen yeah. So I just wear basketball shorts and t-shirts and slippers to uni. Don't really bother about how I look.
Slippers everywhere.
Right. And Phoebe, for a lack of better word, is ultra fashionable. She will dress up, right? She will wear very nicely. She will accessorize, carry the handbag. Sometimes she'll go with heels. Sometimes she'll go with flats.
No. I never.
Mostly flats, but it's all very fashionable.
Heels to uni, It was usually like shoes, like those kind of like covered up shoes.
Yeah. But anyway, the point is she's very fashionable. Like, she takes the time to really look good. So I thought she was this super atas fashionable girl that unfortunately made me very afraid in the sense that I don't think she's very approachable. And B, try not to smile. See, just look in the camera. Don't smile. Yeah, you see, you get my point, right?
I have a friendly face. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I thought she looked very scary to me, but my first impression wasn't like. I know my first impression to her wasn't that super great, but mine was just, I didn't think she was a bad girl or anything like that. I thought she was very, very pretty. But I was a little bit afraid because I'm scared with girls. I'm scared of girls with the kind of aura presence, I guess. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, so that was the first time we met. And then it was also orientation leader, this orientation party that we have.
Right.
That he hosted, So obviously he's a very popular guy in Taylor's Lakeside. He's a scholar. So and he is always emceeing orientation party. So a lot of people know who he is. And yeah, so he's just a very popular guy in uni. So I was just like, oh yeah, this is Brandon Ho. This is who my sister has been talking about. So this is Brandon Ho. So I think the close up, is when you were emceeing the orientation party,
right.
And that was when I saw Brandon properly. And then I think it was a concert that was in Taylor's Lakeside that Eunice came along and she texted you to say like, hey, can we meet up? And that's when you came over, I think, to meet up with us.
Right.
Yeah, just to say hi and then, ciao. So that was, the third encounter. So it was just very briefly, and we just continue on with our life, seriously, really, after that.
Yeah. So I'll take the story from here on.
Then after that, we continued with our life, and I think it was at the age of 20, really. So after one whole year in Taylor's Lakeside, we bump into each other again.
Who, what, when, where, how, why?
Oh, okay, yeah. It was in the library, I remember.
Who, what, when, where, how, why?
Yeah, it was in the library. It was in the computer lab, right? I was using computer. He was using computer. Then I happened to sit next to him, right? I came because that was the only computer that was vacant.
Yeah, of course. Oh, God, definitely. Of course.
Anyway, so I was sitting next to him and he was like, hey, hi, you're Phoebe, right? You're, Eunice's sister. Then I was like, oh, hi. And at the time, he was joining this competition, 8 TV Quickie, right? He was joining this competition to be the next MC. So I was obviously using the computer and I was also talking to him, I was like, I heard you're joining this competition and I actually vote for you. Hey, actually, you already
won.
Yeah, you already won. Sorry. He already won the competition. And I told him that I actually voted for him to be the next MC. So then that's when we, started talking a bit more, having a proper conversation. And then I think after that, I have to leave or to somewhere or something, right? Yeah, so I left. And then what happened?
Well, long story short, Phoebe...
okay, yeah, sorry. In between that, we actually did talk on Twitter.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, we did talk on... Yeah, we did talk on Twitter. And it was a casual... also a casual conversation about badminton, about almost like random stuff.
Yeah.
Right? And then this guy here, said that he will bring me to Yam Cha one day. He's like, oh yeah, we should catch up one day. We should go Yam Cha one day.
Pro tip to those out there.
Going to open up the tweet to show everyone that, okay?
I am going to open up the Facebook Messenger app.
So, anyways, I kind of, after that conversation at the computer lab, I left. And I think I dropped you a Facebook message.
Yeah. I mean, after Twitter as well. I mean, who ever talks to each other on Twitter? I've never heard of anything like that, right? But yeah, Twitter was like our primary messaging app
Yeah.
during our early days, and then we from there we moved on to Facebook Messenger, right?
Yeah.
And we started talking way more on Facebook Messenger. And here's, you gotta understand why we use Facebook Messenger as well, because these are times, this is like almost like
When SMS was quite expensive.
yeah, when SMS was quite expensive, and
Yeah.
I didn't have a smartphone until I was 20 something, 23 something like that. Yeah, and I only had SMS. And that's why we were talking on Facebook Messenger. Phoebe had a smartphone, if I'm not mistaken, but you didn't have a SIM card, something like that one lah.
Oh, I didn't have data.
You didn't have data, so you couldn't WhatsApp as
Yes.
well.
I couldn't WhatsApp.
Correct.
I don't have data. And I can only rely on Wi-Fi.
Correct. So that's why we ended up on Facebook Messenger instead.
Yeah.
And I think we were just discussing on Facebook about something, talking about just random stuff.
No, I
and-
think I just dropped you a Facebook message to say, hey, hi, nice talking to you over at Computer Lab. And then I remember someone owe me a meal, say, because you did say that you're gonna, yum cha one day, So that was just,
And that's the move, ladies and gentlemen. We gotta give a big applause for that. Phoebe Hengy Jane making the move.
Basically, I was just claiming a free meal from you because you promised me
Yes.
on Twitter, okay?
And of course,
So I was just bringing that up. And
Yeah.
he obviously forgot about it. And he was like, what? Since when? Where? How? Why?
I
So-
genuinely forgot about it, right? Because
Yeah.
I mean, this sounds horrible, but at the same time, it doesn't sound so horrible. But it's one of those conversations like, when we were younger, like, we can go on like, yum cha or lepak or whatever, right? But it's not that I completely forgot about it. I forgot about it because of circumstances as well, because I was so busy.
So busy with work.
Correct. I was working and studying at a point at the same time, right? So I didn't have a life. It's not just Phoebe whom I didn't get to lepak or yum cha, or she wasn't the only one whom I've said to that, hey, let's go yum cha and lepak.
And never came true. Yeah.
And it never came true.
Yeah.
So, but I thank God actually now when I look back, like Phoebe reminded me, it was the most randomest of messages.
Yeah. It was like, then he was like, oh yeah, sure, we should do it sometime, you know?
Yeah.
And that's when we kind of exchanged our numbers on Facebook Messenger, right? And then you texted me to say that we will have our lunch at that time.
Right.
And then at a certain time, and then when that time almost came about, then he told me that he had to delay and postpone because his friend just passed away.
Yes.
Yeah. So that thing postponed to the next following week, I think. And then we went on our first meal, but it wasn't a date.
It wasn't a
because
date.
It was really like a
Yeah.
genuine friend, get to know kind of
Yes.
thing. And do you still remember where we went for
Of
the
course.
first?
I'm not going to say it out here, but it was in SS15. Of course, I remember the
Whoa,
place.
why can't we say it?
Place has since closed down. I think it's closed down.
Okay, it's okay. I just want to say
Why?
it's Grub.
No, it's not Grub. It's Gruffa.
Oh yeah, sorry. Graffa SS15, correct.
Yeah, that was the
It was
first
this
time.
Graffa Cafe SS15, and that's when we first had a sit down, proper conversation, getting to know one another, and it was a very great time actually for me.
Yeah.
And it was kind of not shocking, but it was kind of like a breath of fresh air because everyone at that age is trying to impress, obviously the girl or the guy, But with Brandon, he was sharing with me about his background, like his family background and how he was brought up and how he was very poor. He had to go and work at the restaurant, part-time jobs and stuff like that. Remember? And he told me about you working at a construction site. And I was like, what? This 19-year-old guy in front of me that's so popular in university, have this kind of background. And he was so, obviously, after you hear from Brandon, he was kind of ashamed of his background at that time, So for him to open up such things to me, I felt very comforted. I was like, oh, okay, so you actually trust me enough to tell me these kind of things. And obviously I was so really like, wow, this guy is not here to impress me, but he was very open, and he was very truthful to me about his, background. So that was the start of our 2 years friendship.
2 years, it's awesome. Yeah, 2
Yeah.
years sounds quite about
Because
right.
we were seriously friends at that time, and after that lunch, nothing happened, guys. Nothing. He didn't text me. He didn't follow up. Nothing. It was just evaporated into thin air.
you know, I don't know. It's just that it's one of those things, right? I don't know if any guys can identify with me, right? But you connect so well with someone, and we had a really good conversation, mind you. We were talking for like, I think a decent, solid 2 hours.
Yeah.
And we connected so well, and I really felt like I could open up with Phoebe. And most of you guys would know by now my background story, and and it's a very shameful part of me that I wouldn't share with anyone. Not many or not anyone would know about this, and this is way back then, and I was still ashamed of my past. And to be able to share with her so openly, it's just so, because she was such an easy person to talk to, and she had this very giving thing. When you talk to her, you feel like, oh, you just want to say everything, you just want to share about your life, and it's gonna go somewhere. And it worked so well that after that, I mean, put away all the busyness that I had, put away work and studying at the same time. It's just one of those things where you don't know. It's too good to be true.
Yeah.
Does that even make sense? It's too good to be true. Like, connected so well with this girl, and you don't want it. You don't want to mess it up. You don't want to take it too fast. You don't want to go on to the next stage and then to lose that and to mess it up somehow or some way. And I think that's a big part of the reason why somehow I just never really called or text or Facebook Messenger or Twitter or whatever, DM or something like that. So it was nothing for an entire year. It's not that I completely forgotten about Phoebe, and
I mean, he was also very busy with work, right?
Yeah.
Because you were working and studying at the same time. So, but at that time, I didn't know, about him having such a, hectic and crazy schedule. So for me, it's just more of like, okay, we're just friends, he's not interested in me in any way, or like in romantic kind of way.
yeah.
So yeah, so that was like, okay, so that ended. And then, yeah, so when we were 20, we bumped into each other in the library. And okay, so what happened was we had we had a really long break actually in between my class. So I was in the library hanging out, I was actually watching a drama. But obviously in the library, in the computer lab, you need to have your own earphones to listen to audio because you can't be distracting other people, right? So I bumped into him and I was like, oh, hi, hi, long time no see. Hi, how are you? Those kind of thing. And I asked him, hey, do you have, earphones for me to borrow? Because I really want to watch my drama in the computer lab. And that's when he borrowed me his earphones. And then after that, he had to run off for another class. And so he just went off, and I was like, oh, but your earphones. Then he was like, oh, maybe you can give me back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next day I texted him, and I say, okay, where are you? I want to pass you back your earphones. And so and he was at the library again.
Such a studious boy. Always at the library studying.
Yeah, always at the library.
When I got time for girls, scholarship must
I
hit
also
the
got no time for
CGPA.
guys, okay? Yeah, so anyway, so I went to the library to meet him, to pass him his earphones and to say thank you, obviously. And after that, I just, thank you so much for your earphones, And he was like, have you eaten?
Uh-huh.
I was like, no. And he was like, do you want to have lunch?
Smooth operator.
And I was like, yeah, sure. Again, friends. It's
Friends.
Really just as friends.
Right.
And then where did we go?
We went to the mama.
No.
Right, we did. Oh, no. I
No,
can't remember. I think we went to the
We
mama,
went
didn't
to
we?
Bad Boys Can Cook, remember?
Right.
At that square.
No, Oasis Square.
Oasis Square, yeah. So we went to the cafe for lunch. And again, we talked for so
So
long. We
My
talked for so.
goodness.
I think it was. Oh, sorry. I think it was in the second. At the second lunch, we talked even more about his family background. Like how he is really poor and like really went very deep.
By the way, guys, when I was sharing with her, again, it's not because I was trying to gain her sympathy. Yeah. It wasn't like, I was sharing my sob story because I want this girl to kasihan me and to like me.
Yeah.
I will put it out there though that at that point of time, I was already keeping Phoebe like KIV in the back of my head. Now, guys. Wait, no. I gotta defend myself here, right? Because guys, you guys would know what I mean. Like there are some girls.
No, guys know what you mean. Guys know what you mean. Okay,
maybe girls also. You will never know. But you know what I mean, right, guys? Like you got this girl whom you know is potential, very pretty, great personality as well, and you just put a KIV behind your head first because you don't know what's gonna work out in the future, but you kind of like her. So Phoebe was like that. The only. I'm thinking my own grave here, right? Yeah. But anyway, fast forward lah. So after those 2 lunches, basically what happened was that I realized that I really started to like this girl, right? AKA Phoebe. I really started to like her, and I was slowly thinking to myself that, hey, maybe this could turn
No, B. After that second lunch, nothing happened, guys. He didn't text me. He didn't tweet me. He didn't Facebook messenger me. Okay, what are you talking about? There was
fast forward.
There was no.
All this bad part don't have to share.
Is it the
Renaissance?
Renaissance era.
No, Renaissance with everything like flourished.
Oh, how about the
dark ages?
Yeah, the dark ages.
Yeah, the dark ages. That's what you're trying to go for.
Like there was nothing. Okay, so I think it was our birthday that we bumped into each other again.
Yeah.
It was something like that, and then he was like, oh yeah, I know that you and your sister has the same birthday, which is me and Eunice. We have the same birthday. And he was like, oh, why don't I treat you guys for lunch, and I want to bring you guys to my TV station.
Yeah, so that was one way of me, trying to make a move as well, because I don't want to make a move on just Phoebe, right? It's too obvious.
After 1.5 years.
And props to Eunice for putting us together as well. So that time I was still hosting the ATV Quickie.
And he invited us over to the TV station.
Correct.
So we had dinner first, then we went over to the station. It was very exciting for me because this is like going behind the scene, looking like how the broadcast and TV station works, and how basically his work behind the scene, right? So it was very, very interesting for me. So I was very, very excited, and I think but we were actually seeing someone during that time. I was seeing someone, and I think he was also seeing someone. So it was really, really just friends. Really, really.
Yeah, I think people by now are wondering, when are they going to get to the part where
they're like, oh my gosh, so
get
long.
on with it.
Why Brandon
so
noob?
So Chong, hey, when are you going to get out to the part where you all actually fell in love, say I love you, kiss each other, get married?
I promise we're gonna get there soon. So after that, we kind of have I kind of ended things with the other guy.
Yeah.
And
so did I.
Yeah, he ended things with the other girl, and again we didn't talk to each other after that, serious. And then again we bumped into each other again in uni, and
I think we have to use the word Holy Spirit
led us.
Divine meeting. We keep bumping to each other. Really, by the way, we just really kept bumping into each other.
Yeah, and then what happened?
All right, and then finally we got together lah. Long story short.
No, then we started studying together. We started studying together, We started studying together. Then it was finals. So obviously finals, we were so busy. We had to finish. But again, after studying together, nothing happened. Okay, we didn't talk. We didn't nothing.
Oh my
just
god!
Quiet, So after 10 years later, put the thing in.
Yeah, you can put a meme in, right?
Yeah, 10 years later.
10,000 years later.
So after finals, I was like thinking, you know what, this guy, he's a good friend. I don't mind, like he's a great guy. So if he's gonna ask me out, I'm probably gonna think about it.
Definitely gonna say yes.
He didn't make any move, right? So I was like, okay, maybe he doesn't like me. He's not interested in me at all. So that was the mindset already, that I know Brandon's not gonna like me. Because if he likes me, something would have happened, like long time ago. So
I'm sorry the way
so
you said
after
it.
finals, he texted me and said like, "Hey, you want to go and watch movie?" Then I was like, "Oh yeah, sure." And we went for our first. At that time, I didn't know it was a date, but to him, it was a date.
Clearly, I'm asking you out for dinner and to watch a movie like
No,
that.
but the thing is, I do go out with guys as well. I do go out with guys as friends. To like go shopping, eat, have a meal. So to me, I thought he does that to other girls as well.
No. If
Yeah.
a guy would have asked a girl out one-on-one to go for a dinner and then to watch a movie, like, come on, that is 太明显了咯.
Okay, but to me, I thought he wasn't, again, not interested in me. So I thought it was just, again, friends catching up and, watching a movie. So remember the first movie we watched?
Oh, it was the worst movie on planet Earth, guys.
It was the worst.
Worst movie until today. We don't want to trash movies lah. Alright, so let's just focus on Star Wars. The worst movie is called Lucy. Anyway, yeah. So after that was our official first date. I would say I actually properly asked her out.
Yeah, then he was quite smooth after that. Like he started asking me out the second time, the third time, and I think it was at Bulgogi Brothers that he confessed to me to say that he kind of
Actually like you.
No, you said that you were praying to God.
Yes, I was.
Because you are seeing this girl.
Mm.
Then I was like, huh? Seeing? What do you mean? It's like, then he was like, what is your definition of seeing? Then I was like, seeing is basically getting involved romantically, And he's like, yeah, exactly. So I was like, oh. So to me, I was like, oh, okay. So we are actually seeing each other, Because again, I thought he's not interested in me, Yeah, so at that time only it hit me, and he kind of confessed. He took like 45 minutes to confess, to say that he liked me.
Until they closed, literally until they closed shop.
So he kept drinking green tea and he kept going to the toilet.
I got a small bladder. What can I do, right? I can't
But you
help
were
it.
kind of nervous as
I
well.
was so nervous.
Yeah, so anyway, he told me that he liked me, and I was like, okay, I kind of like you too, So,
Yeah.
but what happened was we didn't go into a relationship right after. We told each other that we were going to pray about it for 3 months, and have like confirmation first before we enter a relationship.
Correct.
And so the next 3 months was just us courting and getting to know each other even more, on a deeper level.
Yep.
And then finally on the 12th of December 2014, we got together.
Yeah.
And he asked me to be his girlfriend. So, ta-da!
Wow, that took a solid almost 40 minutes just to share how we first met and how we got together, finally. So yeah, I mean, a lot of people ask us this question, honestly, and we thought we...
And I always tell people it's very boring,
It's
actually.
very boring.
It's so long.
We're so sorry if we bored you out of your minds by just
Yeah.
listening to our love story. It's very boring. It's not like very hyped or very like,
we're
whoa!
very traditional. We take so long.
Yeah. I took so long.
Yeah, but I'm glad that we took so long, because we really started out as friends.
Yeah, we did.
We really, we can banter, we can talk to each other, we talk about everything and anything, and basically being open, being truthful. So he wasn't trying to impress me, he was really trying to tell me about, his family background and stuff like that. And I was also telling him about my family background. So we kind of know each other as friends first, before we had a relationship.
Yeah, and the important thing as well is like, we actually really took that time to pray and to seek the Lord, because I mean, Phoebe hasn't had a serious previous relationship. I had one actually.
Yeah,
and
so he was actually my first boyfriend and last.
Yeah, no, duh. And so I had one previous relationship. Didn't go too great, and I learned a lot, to be honest with you. And so I really took the time to pray about it. My parents knew about it, and that 3 months was really spent. Yes, we caught one another. We go out for dates at the same time, but to take that time to really seek the Lord and say, Lord, what do you think? And when I prayed, it was really, when I prayed to God, I literally like, hey God, there's this girl that I like, right? And there's this girl, she's showing signs that she likes me too. Lord, what say you? You know, Lord, can I continue on with this girl, or is she the one for me? If she's not, you know, can you please close the door? You know, and if she's the one for me, let there be peace in my heart, and let us, you know, continue to flourish. And continue to flourish we did, and that's how we ended up together. And 6 years just flew past. 6 years until the time we got married. Yeah, marriage is a big thing for us. Obviously, it's a big thing for me as well, because I'm the kind of guy who, you know, if I love you, I really do love you, and I go in with the intention of getting married.
Yeah.
So Phoebe is the same as well. When she goes into a relationship, it's not puppy love. It's not about okay lah, we get into it first lah. Then after we get into it, then we see lah. If we match, we match lah. If we don't match, then just putus only lah. Just break up lah. No. It doesn't work like that for us, you know, because time is so precious as well. You don't want to waste each other's time and your own time. So when we got together, it was with the same goal that we are getting together with the aim of settling down, with the aim of getting married, with the aim of serving together in the future, and also getting old with one another. And that was the goal. So with that as the foundation, we went into a relationship. So, you know, it's no surprise that we lasted 6 years, honestly. And 6 years as well was, 6 years feels like a long time, but it didn't.
Yeah, it didn't feel like 6 years to me.
Yeah.
Obviously, we had a lot of adjustment in the beginning. Especially our first fight, our first argument, it was very, very bad. And we had to learn, to communicate, to share and express how you feel in the right way, because there is always a right way to express how you feel. So it was a lot of adjustment. We had to communicate a lot. We had to you cannot expect the other party to know how you feel. You have to express it out, and there's a right way to express how you feel. And
yeah, we'll share that in the next part though. Yeah. But yeah, that's the guys. This is the story of how we met. We'll save the day of our marriage for another day, because we're slowly running down of time here, and our love story ended up taking way more time than we expected.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We're sorry. We hope you guys weren't bored out of your minds. But yeah, I thought for our first episode for Listen Up, we're talking about BGR, we just wanted to share our story. And it's a very close and personal part of our lives. And we just thought that we wanted to share it with you guys, so that you guys know that we're not like this couple where whoa, fireworks, very glamorous. We're really very chill. I won't say boring. We're quite chill, and how we met was a very interesting one as well. So watch out for the next part. We're gonna do that right after this, and it's gonna be more of a Q&A where we get questions, the most sought after, the most asked questions that we get about commitment, about very interesting topics: sex before marriage, talk about lust, accountability, talk about what if your parents disapprove. Phoebe was touching on it a little bit just now as well. Communication, what happens after you argue, how do you resolve a conflict, things like that, and we'll sort to answer that in the second part. So for now, we'll just close. We want to say thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much to Phoebe as well for being a guest/partner in this ministry, and on this first episode of Listen Up, boy-girl relationship. Anything else, B, you would like to say?
I think you really said it. Yeah, you said everything.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you so much, guys. We love you, and we will see you again right after this. Bye.